Hello. Sorry I am gone, you guys, but I hope that you have a very successful day. We are going to be talking about the surface area and volume of a prism and a pyramid. First, we're going to start with the surface area of a prism. I like to think about wrapping presents. You're kind of covering this entire shape, just like you would wrap a present for the holidays or something like that. So, I have a formula up here. There's a couple different ways that you can think about it. But if you just copy this down into your notes, this is one of the ways that you can write it. So this is technically a little L. I'll give you a tail, so it looks like an L. So for the surface area, it's going to be 2 times the length times the width, and 2 times the width times the height, plus 2 times the length times the height. And really what these 2's represent is that this face on the front, right here, is the same on the front that it is on the back. So there's 2 of those shapes that are there. They're kind of like that, 2 of those shapes. Also, the ones on the sides are the same, and then the tops and the bottoms are the same as well. So we're going to find the surface area of this prism first. So I'm going to label these length, width, and height, and then I'm just going to plug them into my formula. So surface area is equal to 2 times 5 times 3, because that was my length and my width. And then I'm going to add 2 times, my width again was 3, and my height was 7. And then plus 2 times my length, so 5, times my height, which was 7. And then I can just really type this in my calculator if I want to. And I get my surface area is going to be, if I type this in, I'll show you. 2 times 5 times 3 plus 2 times 3 times 7 plus 2 times 5 times 7. And you get 142. And this is the unit on this one is meters, and since it's area, it's meters squared. So that is the surface area of this rectangular prism. Now we can talk about volume. Volume is this big B times H. Now I use this big B for a reason. It means the area of the base. So I'm actually going to write that. Area of the base times the height. Okay, so let's look at what the base is down here. So this base is a rectangle. We know how to find the area of a rectangle. It's just length times width. So what is the length times the width here? It's going to, I'm going to actually write that out. So it's 3 times 5. And then I'm also going to multiply this whole thing by the height. And the height is 7. So if I do this one step at a time, the base area is 3 times 5, which is 15. Then I'm going to multiply that by 7 to get my volume. So 15 times 7 is 105. This is volume, so it's meters cubed. Make sure you write those 2 formulas down, and this is for a rectangular prism. Next, we have a triangular prism. So really the only thing that's different about this is that the base of it is a right triangle, and I know it's a right triangle because of this little box right here. Okay? So suppose we want to find the surface area and the volume of this. I kind of, for those visual learners, kind of broke this up. So I know in previous grades you learned a lot about nets, but I wanted to show you that the bases kind of look, or they look exactly like this, and there's 2 of them, and they're identical. And then I have these sides. So really, for the surface area, I'm just finding the area of each of these items and adding them all together. So let's go ahead and write our formula. So I have 2 of these that are exactly the same. So I have 2 area of the bases. And so let's actually find the area of this. To find the area of a triangle, it's just base times height divided by 2. So the area of this is base times height divided by 2. So I get the base is 3, the height is 4, and divide by 2. Excuse me. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I have that this one is 6 and this one is 6. So I took care of the top and the bottom. Then down here, we can find the area of all of these. This is very simple. The area of a rectangle is just base times height. So what is 3 times 6? That's 18. What is 4 times 6? That's 24. And then what is 5 times 6? That's 30. So to find the surface area, I just add all of these together. So I'll just show you right now. Clear all that out. 6 plus 18 plus 24 plus 30. I get a final answer for my surface area to be 84 centimeters squared. So looking back at my original picture, we knew that the top was 6, the bottom was 6. We knew that this front face was 30. That side one back here was the 3 by the 6, so that was 18. And then the back one over there was 24. So we added all those together. So this one I kind of just thought about visually. Okay, for volume, we're going to do the same thing that we did for the rectangular prism. It's going to be the area of the base times height. So remember, this big B, this capital B, means area of the base. We already know what the area of the base is because we had to find it for the surface area. So we know that's 6, and then my height is actually 6 as well. So this is going to be quite simple. The volume is just going to be 6 times 6, which then is going to be 6 times 6 is 36 centimeters cubed. Next example. I have, this is a rectangular pyramid. A lot of you guys have seen pyramids before, and it's called a rectangular pyramid because the bottom of it is a rectangle. Okay, so the surface area, I already have these formulas written down. The surface area, I just need to find the area of the base, which is the length times the width, and then I actually have to add all of these triangles that go around it. So what I wrote here was, there's 2 because the one on this side is the same as the one on this side. Similarly, the one that's on the front is the same one that's on the back. So I have, that's where these 2's come from. So the area of a triangle is equal to base times height divided by 2, or length times width, or length times height. That's kind of a general side information. Side note. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in the information for our surface area. This is my length, this is my width, and then this is my, it's kind of like a slant height, but we'll just call it H for right now. So surface area is length times width, so 8 times 7 plus 2 times our width and our height. So width and height is that, so 17.5 divide by 2. And then plus 2, my length again is 8, and my height was 17.5, divide by 2. So let's just go ahead and calculate this. That's 56 plus, type this in my calculator, add them all together. (318.5 centimeters squared). Now the volume is actually easier. Remember again, this big B stands for base area, and this H stands for height, and then we're going to divide it by 3. So this is very similar to the rectangular prism, but we divide it by 3, kind of like we did in the cone with the cylinder. So the area of the base is a rectangle. We know how to find the area of a rectangle. We just multiply the length times the width. So 8 times 7 is going to give us the area of the base. And then my height is a little bit different. The height is actually from here up. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's not given in this question, but I'm going to tell you what it is now. It is 16. So I multiply that by 16, and then I divide all of that by 3. So typing that in, 8 times 7 times 16, and divide that by 3. And you should get the volume is 298 point, I'm going to say 67, I'm going to round this, centimeters cubed. Okay, I hope you got all of those formulas written down. Good luck in your practice day. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Remember, the homework tonight is a whisk out about spheres, and it'll be posted on Google Classroom.